Hi guys, good morning everyone. Here I am. I had to get a Starbucks. It's my second coffee today to get everything done. So whoever's having a coffee with me this morning, cheers guys, enjoy. Yeah, the soap opera continues. We have to talk about the Blue Lagoon again today, but we also have to talk about Grindavik because there was a residents meeting on Monday, and basically what the police chief of Sudurns has said, they want to keep the town alive. So that sentence might surprise you in light of the fact that the government wants to buy out the residents, wants to buy out the homes, and the residents are moving somewhere else. So what is really happening? We will talk about that, but let's talk about the Blue Lagoon first, because that is incredible. Again, we're waiting for the next eruptions. So the scientists are saying any minute now. The magma chamber is filling up and has reached a level that is basically the same that it had when we had the last eruption this month. So Thorvaldur Thorwaldsen, his bet is March 1st. So that would be basically in a day. But it can happen earlier as well, of course. And yeah, who is open? Of course, our friend, the Blue Lagoon. And it seems they are kind of stubborn and refusing to close, despite of advice that is saying, well, be careful, just close it down. Let's look deeper into this. But you know what? Let's pretend you're a tourist from Japan, from, I don't know from where, from any other country or whatever. I mean, we're kind of, maybe we are freaks that we are so interested what's going on with volcanoes, what's going on in Iceland with all these eruptions. But these news don't go out far in the world. So the mainstream media do not report on this on a very regular basis, and especially not about what's going on there like every month. And the Blue Lagoon always has to be evacuated in the middle of the night when another eruption occurs. So I don't think, let me know if you think otherwise. It's my opinion. I don't think it's so widespread all over the world what is happening. So let's imagine you're a tourist and you're thinking about going to Iceland and you're thinking about making a booking at the Blue Lagoon. So go to their website. I just did it a few minutes ago. And you know, I was expecting that there'd be a big banner on the start page saying, the next eruption is imminent, you might have to be evacuated, this and this might happen. Just information about the last lava flow, anything, right? So do it yourself and then let me know in the comments what you think. Pretend to be a tourist that doesn't know what's going on. So I went to that page and I looked at it and I scrolled to the bottom and I thought there must be something, right? There must be something. Go to bookings, go to hotel information, overnight stays and all that, nothing. When you go to the start page, there is a gray banner and it says on the left top, all facilities are open now. And then there's a link that says read more. So if you don't know what's going on, would you think that this is related with some kind of drama of volcanic eruptions, lava flow, earthquakes, evacuations in the middle of the night, or the fact that there's a magma chamber right underneath the Blue Lagoon and the Swartsengi power plant? And I told you in my last video about what the Icelandic Meteorological Office has released and has stated under their projected lava flow scenarios for different places of the next eruption. They did not rule out the possibility that magma can come up straight from the magma chamber underneath Swartsengi, and it could erupt in Swartsengi. They don't think this is super likely, but we know nature, anything can happen, so why take that risk? So look at that website and you wouldn't think, would you even click on that? Well, all facilities are open. That's the information you need. Great. Let's click book now, right? Or something. So of course I clicked on that link, and this is from February 22nd. So it doesn't look like it has been updated since then. So they're talking about a little bit that they're following all the guidelines and that what they're doing, and that the tourists should be aware that this is a earthquake prone area, but they're not really talking about what's going on, that there's another eruption imminent, you might be evacuated and stuff like this. So it does surprise me, and it seems they're always saying that they're listening to the experts and that they're acting according to the guidelines. But now that we really know, any minute, any hour, March 1st, says the one guy, why can't you close it down now? You lose 1 day of revenue, but don't risk evacuating tourists in the middle of the night again, maybe, because these eruptions for some reason tend to happen in the middle of the night. I mean, daytime would be more convenient, right? But they keep claiming, oh yeah, it all goes so well, and they have given a statement. So the manager of the Blue Lagoon, she has given a statement because she was asked, right, do you think it all went good? Or, it's really Helga Arnardottir, she's the manager of sales and operations and services at the Blue Lagoon. I mean, she's the one that's always giving the statements after each evacuation and anything. And she basically says that they're not afraid of any chaos or any problems happening because, she keeps saying we follow what the authorities are saying all the time and continuously, and we're always reviewing our evacuation plans, and we want to make sure that we have a professional response in the event of an evacuation, and that they're so professional in everything that they do. But I have to say it again, you probably have seen the Walk With Me Tim video when he was at the Blue Lagoon when the previous eruption happened. So the eruption happened at 6 o'clock and the sirens went off at 6 o'clock. He was in his hotel room, and then the Blue Lagoon itself has stated it took 40 minutes to evacuate the people. And you can see the footage while the eruption is in full force, people were still being evacuated from the Blue Lagoon. The risk is not high that the magma might come up right in there, but what if, right? Then everyone's doomed. And the authorities have let people back into Grindavik, but they're saying it's at your own risk, and we really do not want you there. But they're also saying basically we don't want anyone in these areas. But the Blue Lagoon, they really seem to not respond or react to that. They're of the opinion that they have enough time for an evacuation. And so, yes, the scientists assume that the next eruption will probably be in the same area where we have seen it in February in the last eruption and on December 18th in the Sutnuka crater series, but it could also be in the Hagafell area closer to Grindavik, and it can be inside Grindavik. They are stating, well, it could happen inside of Grindavik, and at the residents meeting that has happened on Monday, the Icelandic Meteorological Office has informed residents, well, if it erupts inside the defense walls that are being built and have been built around Grindavik, then there will be an extensive damage to the town from the lava flow. And that would not be a good scenario with people in there, because people are staying overnight in Grindavik. It has been reported that quite a few homes have been occupied overnight. And we know there's so many cracks, there's so many fissures. They're now trying to really map these fissures, but this will take until the spring, until they know everything. And there's new holes, there's new stuff that has formed after the last eruption, and it keeps coming, right? So why do you have to take the risk of being in there? For the residents, it's, in my opinion, a different animal than having tourists facing that risk. So the Blue Lagoon, they're saying, well, we're not in a zone where there's these cracks and fissures, and the fissure zone, the Sutnuka crater series, is like 3 kilometers away from us. So if we're monitor it on a regular basis, and when we know that there is an eruption, we have plenty of time to evacuate. So, but they're talking about the lava flow. Yes, if you just look at the lava flow, the lava was flowing way faster than they thought. So it was reaching the road that is the evacuation road for the Blue Lagoon, Grindavik, roughly about 3 hours after the eruption began. So it took them 40 minutes to evacuate. When Walk With Me Tim drove out, the clock on his car he was filming was 6:23, so he was out there around that time, but when he was there, he hadn't crossed the Grindavik, I believe. So yes, he wasn't in danger of that lava flow. But do you really need to take the chances? What if the eruption is closer, or what? Who knows what's going to happen, right? The science is not that far that they can really super precisely predict what will happen and where it will erupt. Remember in January, the second fissure that erupted basically inside of Grindavik, that caught them completely by surprise. So she says, let's not forget that the scientists have said that the greatest danger in our area is only the lava flow, and they're always saying, yeah, based on like a professional assessment and of course contact with the scientists on a regular basis, the risk assessment is so that we are responding well to that. And they're also thinking that the predictability has become better because now of course they have data from the last eruptions. Basically it's been like 6 eruptions in the last 3 years if you add the Fagradalsfjall eruptions also. So the Blue Lagoon is basically stating that the people understand the current situation, and so that they're always learning and understanding, and that they're in a good relationship with the scientists, and that the cooperation with them is very, very important, and that they rely on these good and knowledgeable experts. So they keep saying they're always learning, but I would like to hear what they learned from the last evacuation when the sirens really went off when the eruption had already started. The earthquake swarm started at 5:20. So why not make a statement and let everyone know, give more feeling of safety? And because they are claiming that they're more experienced after the previous evacuations, and they're saying, yeah, the last evacuations have been successful, and on average there's around 100 to 150 guests at the hotel. I think at the last eruption it was about 150 guests, but you have to add the staff as well. And they're saying, well, we can always learn something from the past evacuations, but these evacuations have gone well so far. I see it that way. Well, you were quite lucky, right? I wouldn't say that it was like really skilled, because we saw on Walk With Me Tim's video that basically there were people at the front desk that say, oh yeah, go, the road to the airport is there, you'll be fine, just go to the airport. Didn't feel really super guided. That's my opinion. I mean, if you've watched the video of Walk With Me Tim, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Did you really feel that they were taken by the hand and really, or were they just let out and just go, right? I mean, there were buses. Of course, if you go into a bus, the driver is probably instructed, and that's probably a safer option with an experienced driver that knows the area and knows, should there be some problem with a roadblock or something, knows better what to do and where to go. The problem is the terrain around the roads. It's like rocky lava rocks. No way to drive over these rocks, over that area, even with an off-road vehicle. So you really need to know, is there another trail? What can we do, right? If you're just out there alone in your car, might not be so great. So they're saying we're always improving the process of evacuation, but we are of the opinion that we have done everything, and that we are already prepared for the next evacuation. Also, they're saying that the guests are of the opinion, and that they're happy that they're good and well informed, so that if there is an evacuation, they will not be caught by surprise and they know what to expect, and that this would be super important. And that's true. We have seen in Walk With Me Tim's video, basically, I don't know if he was advised to that or if he did this by himself. I more understood it that he knew it could be evacuated. He was aware there could be an eruption. So he had his bug out bags packed so that he was able to get out there fast. But this, it seems, they were being told at arrival at the Blue Lagoon. But as I said, go to the website and look at this. You're a tourist from out of country, you're not really into the topic. You book your stay. Do you think you're fully informed what you're booking there? Let me know in the comments. I would really like to discuss this with you, because I would feel that I'm not sufficiently informed, because if I'm already there, it's too late, right? Then what do? You have paid for it, you probably can't cancel, and you're like, oh, right? So I don't know if you confirm the booking, if you get an email then that informs you about that. But in light of that, now you've heard the side of the Blue Lagoon, but there are other people saying something different. And that's why my title of this video is that despite other advice, they just refuse to close. And in my opinion, the logic, the common sense, if you know that this is happening, spare your guests, your paying clients, the experience to have to evacuate. Close it early. Close it now. Get everyone out of there. Just do not take the risk, even if the risk is just tiny that something might happen closer there. Don't take it at all. I think that would give people a super comfortable feeling that they say, okay, we come first, they're taking care of us. It's safe to go to the Blue Lagoon because they're careful enough. And now let's have a look what other people are saying. So we know the eruption is imminent, and there was a statement of the director of seismology of the Icelandic Meteorological Office, Benedikt of Feiksson, and he said that he's not feeling really comfortable with people staying in Grindavik. And he also said, should there be an eruption, that he really hopes that they will be able to leave the town quickly, because right now the seismic activity near that magma chamber in Swartsengi and not far from the town of Grindavik, that's all located on the Reykjanes Peninsula, has increased, and that is a sign that the magma chamber that is underneath the Swartsengi area is reaching a critical level that could lead, and probably, very probably will lead to the next eruption. And then also a professor of volcanology, I like this guy a lot, and for me this is the guy that I would trust the most if I was a tourist and I'd be in Iceland. It's Thorvaldur Thorvaldsson. He's a professor of volcanology at the University of Iceland, and of course he shares the concerns of Benedikt of Feiksson, and because he also says the eruption will happen soon. So his prediction is March 1st. Let's see if he's right. March 1st. So that is basically in a few hours. That's how I see it. So at the latest Monday, that's what he said. So because they're so close to have enough magma in the chamber to get everything going. And of course, there's a level of area, of error, not area. It's always been, they said, well, it's been between 8 million cubic meters and 13 million cubic meters where the point is reached that there will be an eruption. So you have to remember, you can't really define the amount of that magma chamber. You can't really know exactly how much magma is in there. So they can only estimate that. So, but it's very, very, very close. And the land rise is really significant now, significant enough So that is similar to when we have seen the last eruptions. And, you know, now they have a little bit of data so that they say, well, okay, this is how it looked when it happened last times. So they cannot rule out that fissures might open further north or south of the Hagafell, Stora Stockfell area. Of course, the highest likelihood is the Sutnuka crater area. And also they're saying that this eruption pattern of land rise, eruption, as we have seen so many times now, that this could continue for months, even years, decades, or centuries. So it's not something that will go away anytime soon. Right now, the time frame is around 3 weeks to 4 weeks, but it's getting less. The time is getting less. So also what they see as a chance how this could be a little bit interrupted or maybe tension gotten out of the system is if there's a major earthquake, that this could interrupt this cycle that we're seeing right now. But it's not super likely. It could also continue as it does. So they don't know, but it's interesting to know what maybe could stop it, right? So, and here it comes, you know, this is what Thorwaldsen suggests. And I am surprised that the Blue Lagoon's not listening to that, because they keep claiming that they're in close contact with the scientists and that they're listening. So let me know how you would interpret that, because I interpreted that basically Thorwaldur is advising, he's maybe beating around the bush a little bit, maybe that's all political, but that he's advising to close down the Blue Lagoon right now, because basically what he is saying that the authorities should consider opening Grindavik, the Swartsengi power plant, and the Blue Lagoon more quickly after the next eruption. But he also says caution is needed, and he's advising against staying or working in these areas when another eruption seems imminent. So he mentions Grindavik, the power plant, and the Blue Lagoon. And basically how I interpret it, people were angry that it took so long in Grindavik until it was reopened. So, okay, he says, once the eruption has started and occurred, we know where it is, we can somewhat predict the lava flow. You can open quickly. You don't have to wait that long. I mean, the Blue Lagoon opens quickly anyways. I mean, you can't even open more quickly than they do. But anyways, open more quickly. But then he urges caution and says right now nobody should be in these areas. And I interpret this that he's saying close it down. Close it down. Get them out, right? And so that is why I named the title of this video, they're kind of stubborn. They're refusing to close down despite different advice. But there's more. There's also something that the residents of Grindavik seem to think about this. And one of my viewers, who's a member of a Volcanic group, has shown me a conversation that is very, very interesting between a tourist who's basically asking a question and then a resident of Grindavik giving an answer. And I want to let you know about this because this is very, very interesting to me. And I think I am definitely agreeing with what the resident of Grindavik says. So let's get into this. So I got this screenshot of a conversation. It's a Facebook group. It's called Iceland Geology, Seismic and Volcanic Activity in Iceland. And one member is asking the question saying, you know, I'm really embarrassed to ask that question. And I feel like I'm a basic tourist. But, you know, I would like to know, can you tell me how dangerous would it be to be in the Blue Lagoon in the next couple of days, to go there as a tourist? And the user says that she has tickets for tomorrow and it's too late to get a refund. And am I completely crazy to even considering going? And have to add here, it's sad that you don't get a refund if the eruption is so imminent. So should the tourists consider even going, or just let the money be a loss? And so the other question is, are tourists who go there actually putting their lives in danger? And so this is a legitimate question, as I said, for someone who's not so into this, like we all are. We're nerds, right? We're looking into this every day. We love volcanoes and we love to see what Mother Earth is doing. But, you know, one comment is very, very interesting. So there's a person answering. I don't want to name the person. You can look it up in that forum. I don't want to put names out there. So the answer is, I cannot tell you if you will be cooked alive or be flushed down a crack in the ground, but I can tell you as a local from Grindavik, I don't know anyone who would set foot in that place at this point and put themselves in the vulnerable position of being in the water, half naked, in the frosty air, having to evacuate at a moment's notice. We, the locals, are united in the opinion that keeping the Blue Lagoon open is complete madness. Remember that nobody knows where the eruption will be and nobody knows where cracks will form. In my opinion, stay away. So I really agree 100%. Absolutely 100%. It doesn't do anybody good if tourists are endangered in that area. And you've seen my video that I released yesterday. Tourists did somehow get into Grindavik, and they went to the side where the January lava flow was burning down 3 homes, and they were walking on top of the still hot or warm lava, taking pictures of the destroyed homes, and in my opinion, like really violating the property and the residents of Grindavik. I mean, it's only open for residents, businesses, and workers, and people who really need to be in the town. And there is access for press, but not for tourists. But the tourists keep driving around in that area. I have read in the comments that people that were there as tourists, they could get quite close to Grindavik. And the residents are not happy about this. One business owner has reported about a tourist bus that was there blocking the road for the residents that were waiting to go through the checkpoints. So it's not a good situation. Just keep the tourists away from that area. I really think that this is the right thing to do. So let me know what you think, guys. I really would like to hear your opinion about this. What's your gut feeling? What would you do? What's your feeling about the website? Do you think everyone is informed well by just looking for a vacation destination and going to Iceland, and then you think, oh yeah, Blue Lagoon is nice? I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, you know my opinion by now, guys. So let's discuss this. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are really, really awesome. And thanks for supporting me with your supers, for buying me the coffees on my buymeacoffee.com website. Some of you have asked what kind of coffee do I like. I mean, I sometimes, I admit, I go to a certain company and I buy their lattes, but I do a lot of coffee at home. At the moment, I really like cold brew, and I make that myself, and I just mix it with a little bit of coconut milk, no sugar, nothing. I'll try to stay away from that. And yeah, I just admit I'm an addict, and when I do the late night videos, that thing keeps me going. And right now I'm doing this video quite early, so earlier than I normally do, but I still need that. So thanks for supporting me there. Please subscribe and follow me on buymeacoffee.com/silky. The link is in the description of this video. It's for free to follow me there. I'll post the latest information, maps and stuff like this, also some stuff about my farm, so that you know more, and I'll send you emails as soon as I know of the next eruption. I was lucky the last 3 times I was awake and I saw it in real time. I saw the earthquake cluster happening, and then I knew, oh, it's going to happen. But of course, It could be that I'm sleeping and then I'm probably late reporting about this, but be assured I will report about it. Maybe I'm lucky and I'll catch it again. If it's a nighttime eruption, again, I'll definitely catch it, I'm pretty sure. And then I'll let you know ASAP. So click the notification bell, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of that. And there's more stuff coming in the near future about other volcanoes that keep rumbling. It's like, guys, don't you think it's strange? It's like rumbling everywhere, right? Volcanoes getting active. So I'll report more about that, but also about other topics. Check them out. This channel is about topics that you know, are up to date and interesting, or stuff that's happening in the world that I think people should be aware of. That's on the pulse, right? But also on the pulse of Mother Earth. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.